Good morning, dear students. Yesterday we have been discussing about how a virus spreads infection. In our syllabus, we have to study about rhinoviruses. So let's go through rhinovirus. Human rhinovirus are the most common viral infective agents in humans, and they are predominant cause of common cold. This condition is known as rhinitis. Rhinovirus infection proliferates between 33 to 35 degrees Celsius, and this is the reason they primarily affect the nose and the nasal passage. The virus transmits through inhalation of droplets from infected people or contaminated objects, maybe whatever object the person is touching. It can be the CPU, the computer, the notebook, pen, handkerchief, any material which has been used by an infected person can be the mode of transmission. Incubation period is of around 3 to 7 days. So for 3 to 7 days the disease persists. You might have heard that during your common cold, if you take your medicine, it takes around 1 week to recover, and if you don't take the medicine, it will take 7 days. So that is the way the rhinoviruses work. These have a incubation period for which you get troubled, and after that the human system is such that it fights against the disease. Now signs, I hope all of you know what are the symptoms of common cold and cough. Nasal congestion, excessive nasal secretion, sore throat, cough, headache. These are the common symptoms you'll find caused due to the rhinovirus. So up till now we discussed about the bacteria causing infection and viruses causing infection. As I told you, you don't have to learn too many for your CBSE boards, but for your entrance exams, they keep asking you different types of bacteria and viruses. The general ones are important. That's it. Next, we'll discuss about the protozoans which cause disease. The most common one is the protozoa which causes malaria. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Now Plasmodium, there are 2-3 species which are responsible for this malaria. We have Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum. Among these, Plasmodium falciparum causes the most severe disease, and at times it becomes difficult for the person to recover and it becomes fatal. Next, we are going to discuss the life cycle of the Plasmodium, how it uses 2 hosts to multiply. This is a very important part, the life cycle of Plasmodium. This has been asked quite a number of times in CBSE, and they are short questions as well as value-based questions from this topic. It is an important topic. So children, please make good notes so that you easily remember them and you can easily go through them before your exams. So malaria is caused by Protozoa Plasmodium species. Mosquito serves as vector. The Anopheles mosquito. It has 2 hosts. For sexual reproduction, it needs the mosquito as host and human or the other organism for asexual reproduction. There are 4 species known which cause malaria: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium falciparum. Among these, the last one causes the most severe type of malaria, which is known as malignant malaria. This is how Plasmodium looks under the microscope. These blue stained cells are the Plasmodium falciparum one. They are protozoans. Various symptoms include high fever, severe sweating, chills, vomiting, headache, tiredness, muscle ache, weakness. The female Anopheles mosquito, which is the vector for Plasmodium. The Plasmodium enters the human body as sporozoites through the mosquito. When the mosquito bites, it sits on the skin and allows the saliva to enter the blood, and there it enters as sporozoites. The rupturing of the RBCs is associated with the release of hemozoin, which is responsible for high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days and causing chill and fever. So these sporozoite, first site of replication is the hepatocyte or the liver cell. In the liver cells, they go and infect, they multiply, that is increase in number, and they are released in 6 to 7 days in the blood. When these merozoites are released in the blood, they go and infect the RBCs. The RBCs, when the cells are inside, when this merozoite moves inside the RBC, it multiplies inside and it takes another 4 to 8 days. And when these RBCs burst open, it is known as schizont, it is also releasing this hemozoin, which is a toxin because of which shivers and chills occur. Now this whole thing is a asexual process of reproduction of Plasmodium, from sporozoite to merozoite into this trophozoite or schizonts, where the protozoa bursts open the RBC, releasing the toxin in the blood. Now in this stage, it is releasing these gametocytes, the male and the female gametocyte. So again, when another mosquito bites this human being, both the gametocyte goes into the mosquito, and as it goes into the mosquito's gut, there the male and the female microgamete fuse to form the oocyte, which goes into the salivary gland and produces the sporozoite. Now next, again, when the mosquito is biting another human being, the sporozoite along with the saliva of the mosquito gets transferred to another human. Thus the cycle gets repeated in 2 different hosts. In human, who's a vertebrate, it is the asexual cycle which gets completed, and in mosquitoes it is the sexual cycle that gets completed. So it enters as sporozoite, infects the liver cell, where it multiplies and becomes merozoites. These merozoites go and attack the RBCs, and inside the RBC it forms the gametocytes. When the RBCs burst open, they release a toxin known as hemozoin, which causes fever. And now that the RBC has burst open, so both the male and the female gametocytes are in the plasma of the blood, and when another mosquito bites the particular organism, it sucks in the male and the female gametocyte. As it sucks in, the 2 gametocytes goes inside the gut of the mosquito. This environment is suitable for the 2 gametes to fuse and form the oocyte. This oocyte multiplies and passes on the sporozoites into the salivary gland. Again, when the mosquito bites another organism, along with the saliva, sporozoites are transferred. I hope the life cycle is clear to you all. If you are asked to draw a flow chart, you have to mention all the steps along with the diagram in this cyclic form. If you are asked to write a short note, you have to write a short note. Please make sure you write your answers point wise. CBSE, if you write your answers point wise, it will be easy for you all to score. This is a very important topic. I am again telling you. So please go through it and do the assignments given also. Another protozoa which is there in our syllabus is the Entamoeba histolytica. It causes amoebic dysentery. Though the life cycle is not there for your syllabus, but then the mode of transmission occurs by ingesting cyst with food or some drinks, and these are carried by flies from feces to food and the drink. Entamoeba has an irregular body, and as it goes inside the system, it goes and damages the intestinal wall. From the intestinal wall, it can go and infect the liver and cause abscess in the liver. So this is how it works and disturbs the whole digestive system. And symptoms include amoebic dysentery. The patient passes blood along with feces and feels pain in the abdomen, cramps, and a lot of mucus and blood clots along with the fecus is discharged. Drinking water and eating food contaminated with fecal matter are the major source of this infection.